Once again, this is Prince Dices, the Royal Financial Investment Group. I'm here today to give a quick recap of the week, my predictions of next week, and to answer two questions that was asked on our Facebook page. So first, let's get into the questions that was asked. The first question that was asked was, what is a Affordable Care Act? Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. Obamacare was pretty much a doctrine. It's like 20 some thousand pages, but I'll just give you the skinny on it, and hopefully it helps guide you in the right direction. So first, it's pretty much essentially uh, healthcare that was put into place that so that everybody can afford it. Because before healthcare, some people can go uncovered, or some people can not afford their premiums because of pre-existing conditions. Because companies can refuse and deny business to anyone. So if someone has a pre-existing condition to where they felt that the person would be at high expense, that they can just simply drop them from coverage or deny them from coverage. So the Affordable Care Act pretty much says, hey, you can't deny anybody, you must cover everybody, and that it also makes it affordable for people who can't afford it. So, and also it does it it makes for small business and companies itself. It has, I don't know the exact limit, but if you have so many employees that are full time, you must provide healthcare coverage. So a lot of companies are having to absorb the healthcare costs, because a lot of people that work for companies now that don't provide healthcare coverage, that they have to pay out of their own pocket, and sometimes the premium may be too expensive, so some people just don't bother with it, and some people go uncovered. So now it's saying that, hey, if you have this many employees, you must provide X amount of coverage. So that's pretty much the skinny on that side. Now, the reason why it gets backlash is that companies, first, they have to pay for somebody else's health coverage. The second thing is, they look at it as, why is the government forcing me to get health coverage? If I don't want to get health coverage, I don't have to. But on the Affordable Care Act, if you don't get coverage, you can be penalized through taxes. So, if you are starting to cover all these millions of Americans that wasn't covered previously, somebody's going to have to pick up the tab. And who's going to pick up the tab is, the taxpayers, and also the people who don't. Some people who already have healthcare coverage that don't want to, switch or have healthcare coverage or whatever, they have to pay the penalty. Or if you're a company and you don't provide healthcare coverage, you can be forced to pay taxes. And those taxes that you pay, that's what help kind of fund the program, essentially, along with taxpayer dollars. So that's kind of the general consensus of it. I think they had a march. It kicked off January 24th, if I had the date correct. Don't quote me on that. And I think March 31st was the last day of like the deadline for signing up. So it's pretty much there to get people coverage who didn't have it before. So it's way more in depth than that. That's just to skim the surface and hopefully give a good idea of what's going on. So the second question that was asked about, using what type of technical analytical skills you can use to profit from the market. It's a lot out there. It's a lot of different strategies out there that people use, that people develop over time. I would say, I have my own strategy that's currently being developed itself. It changes every day. I learn new things every day. I'm always a student. I'm always learning. I'm always figuring out ways to do things. But you can find a strategy depending on. You can say, hey, I think the market is going to go this way, or it's going to go that way, and you can position yourself. A lot of people use not a lot, but I know some people that use the 100-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, the 20-day moving average, the Bollinger Binders. It's an arsenal of tools out there that you can use. Some people use Thinkorswim. Some people just buy the software that tells them when to buy something. It's a ton out there. So what I would say is that don't invest too much. That's usually a rookie mistake. If your account is, you shouldn't invest more than 1% of your account per position. So if a position goes against you, it doesn't bankrupt your account. You just take the loss on that particular position, and you're still in the fight. So, and also another thing is to trade often. It's something that you got to keep doing over and over, because you're going to take losses. And also, it doesn't matter what trade you make. If it's profitable or if you lose from it, you're still going to have to pay commissions on it. So if you're paying commissions and taking losses, that's a double whammy. So my key advice would be, don't invest too much. Take your time. Don't invest too much. Invest often and take your time. And it's a bunch of tools out there that you can use to see what you're going to do. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully those answers wasn't vague, and hopefully you got something from them. All right. So let's get into a recap of this week and my prediction for next week. Last week on my Facebook page, I made a couple positions. I'm gonna read them out here. I had a Amazon call, Cisco calls, DJX put, which is the Dow Jones, and Oracle, symbol ORCL, Priceline, and Visa calls. So all those came out pretty profitable this week. Um, I kind of saw the Dow Jones dropping because of, it's just like anything else. Once you see something going up high, it's going to have to do a drawback. It still can be in a bullish state, but it has to do a little drawback. Nothing runs up for too long before it takes a little dip, and I just took advantage of the dip. On Friday, the March jobs report was released, which didn't meet. I think they was expecting to add more than 218 jobs. I think it was 192. So that, along with some corporate earnings, helped push the market down, which I was kind of expecting to come anyway. I was expecting about a 40 to 50 point drop, but it dropped 159 points on Friday, due to the jobs report. So the market still dropped, but it's still in an upward, it still has an upward trend, upward momentum. So that's pretty much a recap from last week. Next week, what I'm predicting to happen is I have a couple moves I'm looking at. CMG, I'm reading them off my board over here. So it's CMG, which is Chipotle's, NFLX, which is Netflix, TWTR, which is Twitter, AMZN, Amazon, and BIIB. Those are the companies I'm looking at probably tomorrow. If they are bearish tomorrow, at the end of the market tomorrow, I'll probably look at making a position. So those are, my predictions for on Monday. Also, I'm holding 3 stocks. I'm holding puts on BIDU, P, and OIH. Those are the symbols. I'm holding puts on those currently. Got into those positions on Friday. I put them on my Facebook post, and those are the ones I'm hoping to be profitable for somewhere in the next month. So I know a lot of times when I write Facebook posts, people always say, hey, what's the strike? Or hey, what's the expiration date? A lot of times I don't give that out because it depends on how much money I have or that I'm going to invest into something. So as some of your experienced option traders know, that some contracts cost more than others. And if some contracts cost more than others, you can be spending more money. So if I'm saying, hey, I have $1,000 that I want to invest, remember what I said earlier, you don't want to invest too much. So I have $1,000 I want to invest. If a contract is going to cost $200-$300, I can get 3 of them. But if I have $10,000 to invest, I may go deeper into the money. So the key things I always look for is to go deep into the money on calls and deep out of the money on puts. Because they have high deltas. A high delta means that it'll move faster with the dollar. Every change of the dollar is a formula that you can do. I get to make another video about that, but I look for that, a high delta, and I also look for a high open interest and a high volume, because it doesn't, if I buy something, I want to have the ability to be able to sell it. I want to have something that people are interested in and that's moving, that I can get in and get out. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm short. I'm short on all my positions. When you say short means that you hold a security for less than a year. Long means you hold it more than a year. So a lot of positions, 95% of my positions, I'm short. So I do have a couple marijuana stocks as well. So that's something that you can look at as well. So that's my recap for last week. That's what I'm doing on Monday. Next week, stay tuned. Like, comment, share. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter as I change throughout the market. And I hope you guys had a great weekend, because I did. And see you guys in the market.